Hello and welcome to the first episode of Bosco's garden tour. This is the first of what will hopefully be a long series of videos with tours of permaculture sites, organic farms, eco-villages and anything of that nature. But first of all, today we'll be starting off on my own family's homestead and we'll be looking at all the work that we've been doing over the past while during the lockdown. We go with that, yeah? So this year we got a new tiller and a drill plough, and we've made these drills and we have this fencing to keep out the chickens. We have spuds, turnips, peas, carrots, parsnips. It's the 2nd of May now and everything's starting to come up. We're just coming out of a long dry spell that went on for nearly a month, if not more, and we've just had a bit of rain over the past few days, which has been a big help, as before that we were watering twice a day. In the future I want to focus a little bit more on no-dig systems or less till systems, but this year we just wanted to get rid of this grass and put in some fast crops to feed us. So coming up here, it's a bit of a building site at the moment. We've just put up this electric fence to keep the chickens. They usually have the whole field, but at the moment they just have this little run here, just so that we can let some grass seeds grow up there at the donkey shed. There's Frank over there. In this set of drills up closer to the hen house, we have 4 drills of spuds, shallots in this drill, parsnips, carrots, cabbage, which I grew in the polytunnel and transplanted to here, and then up along the chicken wire of peas to grow up along that, which are still to come up. And then up here at the chicken house we have sunflowers, and up here we have crows that like to eat the chicken food, but I'm using their manure, which is dropping down onto the sunflowers, which is full of phosphorus and potassium, so that should make nice big sunflowers. Here's Dad digging a hole, and we've got a mound which we're going to put fruit bushes on, which will be part of the food forest, the future food forest. And all these stones went in the other day as a new roadway up to the donkey house, and to keep the muck out from in front of it, because it was really bad during the winter. So Dad and myself built this pole barn shed last year from 10-foot poles and recycled galvanized sheets, and half of it is for the donkeys during the winter or when it's stormy, and we have this half for hay and the tractor and all that sort of thing. These are new compost bins, which I did a making of video. I'll put a link to that. It's just a basic slow composting system. And I've planted a birch tree which came up in the garden and I moved it to there. So this is the hen run, and we have 29 hens and 1 rooster. There he is, he's our new rooster, and his name is Legs Kelly, because he originally came from Stafford Kelly and then Dan from Wollongrange Farms. This is Mam's apartment, so I'll let her talk a little bit more about this.
Alright, okay, so this is my hen coop, 2 coops and my hen run. I have 29 hens, we had 30, I lost 1, so we have 29 hens and the cock. We started off with 6 hens about 8 years ago, and they, on different occasions, 1 or 2 died and we added to them and continued on that over a good few years, but we had a smaller coop. We only had the little tiny coop, and we had it off over the far side of the garden in a little small area. So then when over the years the numbers increased, and I decided that we needed a larger area, so we considered putting the little house out here. And then I got too many chickens, and we looked at the garden shed, which was beginning to collapse after 20 odd years. So we, under severe duress with a tractor and a front loader one day, moved the garden shed from the other end of the garden out around the gate and in here, and we set it up as the new chicken coop. The roof was gone on it entirely. There was no felt left on it after the years, so we, with our recycled galvanised, Shane and Tom put a new roof on it, and I then got numerous large cardboard boxes from a friend of mine and cut them all up and insulated all the walls on the inside of it. So it's a snug and warm inside now, even though there are gaps in it. It's warm and it's dry and comfortable on the inside. We then made 4 little nests, and I have 2 other nests as well, and a long roost down one side. And at the moment there are 20 of them in that at night, and the cock decides to go in there as well. The small house then, I have 9 babies in that, what I call, in a separate little run here. They're all together now at the moment, but when I got them first, the little house housed the 9 new ones, and we brought in this here to make a separate little coop. This goes in and makes a separate little coop so that they're beside the other ones, but they're not, the other ones are not able to get to them, so they're quite safe, because hens are little devils. They bully and they bitch, and they will actually kill a new one if they want to. They'll pick on it and pick on it until they have it killed. So it's important to keep them separate until they grow up and be sensible enough to look after themselves. About 8 o'clock, thereabouts, the cock starts to crow, so that's time to get up. And I come out, I feed the 20 in that trough, and I feed these separately in case that they are bullied, and collect the eggs. And then I open the gate here. This is closed at night so that they're secure, and the houses are closed at night. And this is closed in here at night so that they're secure. And in the morning then I open this out. At the moment we're just giving them a small run down along here, because we've sowed grass seeds over here, and hens and grass seeds don't mix. So until the grass seeds come up, we're just giving them a short little run. But in the winter time, they love to be in the donkey house and picking around and all around the hedges and the ditches, and they pick at everything. They just love the freedom, and it shows in the eggs, because the eggs are just absolutely nearly crimson in the middle, and lovely rich yolks in them. And I have about 7-8 customers up and down the road. All my neighbours are looking for eggs, and it's constantly somebody looking for a dozen eggs, so they well pay for themselves. And I have to buy a bag of feed. They buy the layers pellets, and I feed them layers pellets in the morning and in the evening, and some rolled oats mixed up with it. And then of course they get the scraps, which are treats to them. They get the whatever's left, pasta, potato, vegetables, anything that's left over. They love it, and I just scatter that around the ground, and that's their treats. So that's about it. My hens are very important and take up a lot of space and a lot of time. When I get the new ones, I spend as much time as I possibly can in the house, sitting on the edge of the house and letting them get used to me. And after a while I get this, any one of them, there are only about 2 that I can't actually catch and pick up. So they're completely, they love being rubbed. They love being rubbed. And they flutter their wings when they're, so it's handy that you can actually pick them up and catch them anytime that you want to. They're very, very quiet, and because they're quiet, the cock is quiet too. So cocks can be vicious, but I'm not the slightest bit afraid of him, because I think he's very calm, and because the hens are calm, he's calm as well. So it's a good combination all around, and they're great fun. And you have your eggs every day. We have an abundance of eggs. Even selling the number of dozens that I have, we still have loads of eggs for baking, which is brilliant.
So coming into the garden here now, we have these stepping stones running throughout this part, which is all wildflowers over here. We have an insect hotel, which I built last year, and the new pond, which is I'm trying to keep as wild as possible with just plants and hoping that frogs will turn up at some stage, or if I can find some frog spawn I'll put it into it. James is there fishing. I also planted an elder tree here, which is supposed to keep away midges, so hopefully that will help with the midges, and it'll also give a bit of shade for anything that wants to live in under it. Lots of sunflowers and yarrow. Here's my Eden apple tree, which is about 8 years old this year. In these beds near to the house we have some of our more tender vegetables, as well as our kitchen herb garden. Anything that needs a little bit of extra care. These are all new this year. At the start of this year we only had one raised bed over there in front of the polytunnel with strawberries in it. So it's a big step forward this year with these few beds. And I think they look really nice. Here we have my new sifting contraption. It has an old bike wheel, which was kindly left in a ditch outside the house by the local fairies. And I can just put soil in here and push it through with a spade, and it makes the soil nice and crumbly. This is our IBC container, which I hooked up to the roof, so the entire back of the house is feeding into that container there. And it used to be filling up the duck ponds, which were behind the polytunnel, but the ducks were taken at the start of the year by the fox. In the polytunnel I have radishes, pak choi, spring onions, beetroot, lettuce, cabbages, spinach, parsley, yarrow, oregano, melons, garlic, cucumbers, and tomatoes over here. I started these tomatoes at the beginning of March in pots, and I just planted them out here the other day. They are going to run up this bit of twine, which has worked really well the past few years, so they just twist around. That keeps them standing up straight. I also have this grapevine, which is 3 or 4 years old now. The grapes are always quite small, so I've tried to prune it back a little bit this year so that maybe the grapes might be a bit bigger, but we'll see how it works out. I have this yarrow here at the bottom of the grapevine, which is supposed to increase the essential oils in nearby herbs, like the oregano here and the parsley over there. And I think it also is good for beneficial insects, and it makes a really good tea or if you get a bad burn, it actually works as well. And here I have mustard, which sprouts up all over the polytunnel every year, and I let it go to seed and then dig it in to the soil at the start of the year, and some still comes up, and it's full of nitrogen and really good too for adding humus to the soil. It's quite tasty too. The radishes are just ready, and I have more planted to come up, same as the lettuce and spinach and all that. Everything being planted successionally so that we have a nice crop every 2 weeks. Out behind the polytunnel we have drills that I hand dug with onions and spuds, and they need to be weeded soon enough. We have some plants that are getting ready to go outside. They're just hardening up outside the polytunnel. They were started earlier in the year and I'm just getting ready to plant them out. And in this bed just around the polytunnel we've planted a few wildflowers, stuff that the butterflies and the bees like, and they're all coming up really well. We have a black currant bush coming up here, and there should be a lot of currants on it this year. So just around the back of the house I have my avocado tree, which is over a year old now, and it's doing really well. It's really healthy. It goes outside during the day to thicken its stem. It's really proud of that. We have Sam, dog Sam, and in the kitchen window is where I have my indoor propagation. It maintains a really nice temperature in here and gets lots of sunlight. So I have peppers, which will probably stay in here all summer maybe. And it's also where I start everything early in the winter. Over here is my worm bin. Which is just on its third layer this year. I just made it out of wood and mesh inside. See, lots of worms. These aren't earthworms, they're tiger worms. They thrive in this kind of environment with scraps from the kitchen, and they're able to eat half their body weight a day, turning scraps into black gold very fast, which is brilliant for the garden and one of the most efficient composting techniques you can use. What do you think? What do you think? So since we put the drills out in the field, we needed to get water out there. So everything used to be running off of this tap here. So I got some 1/2-inch webbing pipe and attached it to this tap. And this is our new house tap, which is separated into two so I can put a hose on it. And then this webbing pipe is running all the way along there, along the edge of the garden. And I have another tap out at the Polytunnel, and another one out at the donkey trough, and another one down in the middle of the drills. And then of course there's Stan and Ollie, who make great manure. And that's about it. So I'll be back soon enough with updates. So make sure to like and subscribe, and leave any comments with any questions or tips or any thoughts. And we'll see you next time.